Bourbon Barkeep, my name's Curtis, and boy, I have been looking forward to this review for quite some time. The bottle just came in to our area, and I am pumped about it. Larceny, barrel proof, a very, very well done wheated barrel proof bourbon, and I'm excited to review it and let you all know if it's a buy or not. Stay tuned. Larceny, out of the Heaven Hill Distillery, pumps out these guys 3 times a year. That's why you have your batches A, B, and C. And I'm still a little bitter that the C batch last year changed the label, whereas God intended this batch A, 125, definitely deserved the first fit. I don't care what anybody says, it looks weird on the shelf having C batch just randomly change. But did they do a good job with the new label? Absolutely. These guys come in anywhere between 6 to 8 years, just kind of blend these guys together. This one, 125 proof, and anywhere between, $60, $70. Some people, $75, $80, but I feel like $70, probably about right. Now that we got the specs out of the way, if you want to like and subscribe early, props. Love you, and I hope you stick around. And if you want to like and subscribe later, it's good too. I appreciate you not rushing into this, and we'll just see how this goes as I roll. All right, on the nose, Larceny A125. A lot of red fruit, a lot of bright red fruit. Strawberry, vanilla, a lot of sweet wheat funk coming out. Boy, that was tough to get out. I was a little nervous, but this is a wheated barrel proof, as we said. Some of those wheats can kind of sneak behind the scenes. This batch, at least, this wheat is very forward. Slight cinnamon, but overall it's a pretty strong strawberry vanilla. You know, they have those little lifesaver things, pink and white. Love those. Those are great. All right, on the palate. Oh, that tip of the tongue, you're like, oh wow, this is gonna be smooth, and then she goes. Good for you. That 125 proof is every bit there, and I love it. Great cinnamon spice lingers, but that's really on the finish. That cinnamon spice is what's left. That rush of nice dark brown sugars and maple syrup, vanilla, caramel. That's really good. Even what's left, it does kind of linger on the palate for a very long time, but it's the cinnamon spice and barrel char that I'm really digging right now. That's a good batch. I like this one. Okay, we acclimated a bit. Sip 2, you're going to get more. So if you are iffy or if you really like it, go back to sip 2, see what happens to you, and that's what we're going to do. That's really good. It does hang around a long time. That finish, that 125 is absolutely there. And sometimes that's what you want. You're reaching for a barrel-proof bourbon, and you want that hug, and that hug is fantastic. That red fruit continues, this nice strawberry, raspberry, cherry. Yeah, I'm just naming red fruits, but it's all kind of there. There's like this really nice bright sweetness to it with this nice kind of sour richness that I feel like this cherry and raspberry can supply. Honey, dark brown sugars, vanilla, baking spice. I felt like Larceny went 2 baking spice, 2 cinnamon forward on at least A and B last year, and they weren't my favorites. I was like, oh no, what are you doing? And then C924 was actually quite delicious. So guess what we're doing? A compare, baby. I don't know what to compare to this sometimes. Do you go A to A? Do you just do A to C? Because sometimes you can still find those last batches, those previous batches, especially of Larceny. Poor Larceny. Just sees Elijah Craig just go out the door, just constantly. Just sits there. And it's great. And it's cheaper. I digress. So guess what? We're doing A, C, and A again. Let's do it. We're back. As I was setting these bottles up, really, I mean, the rebranding is fantastic. You put the black label against these beautiful copper ones, and you just realize it's like yellow teeth. It's like that one corn tooth. It's a tough look. How does A125 stack up to A124? Have I revisited a lot? No, I haven't, but here we are. It's like a salted caramel, maybe even like a heavily over-baked caramel. A little bit of nut. Man, this guy's tight. A lot more ethanol on the nose. Probably go back and forth because you all care. Yeah, the richness, smoothness is far above what A124 was on the nose. A little bit of chocolate coming out. So, glass half full. Kind of got a little Snickers in here. Let's get it on the palate. It's fine. It really zaps you. I mean, that cinnamon spice. She's heavy. Heavy baking spice. Heavy cinnamon. Sweetness is there. This has less red fruit. I feel like this goes much more into this caramel, toffee realm, chocolate, and vanilla. And some nuttiness. Yeah. That one goes into that realm, but a stinging cinnamon, black pepper in here. It's good. It's just not very approachable. I mean, you really have to want some spice on the tongue to where I feel like the A125 comes out much smoother with a better hug. C924 was a great bottle. Love it. Still on some of the shelves out here. So let's see, is the new release worth the pull, or do you just go back to Old Faithful, the one that jumped the gun and changed the label way too premature? Ooh, a lot sweeter. This one's going maple syrup, brown sugar, and there's something there. There's a nut, like a walnut. Not a peanut, like a walnut. Yeah. All right, let's get this on the palate. We've already done reviews of both of these. Let's just see how they stack up. It's so much better than A124. Yep. I will say, I mean, maybe it's because it's first sip. I feel like the hug is best over here. This one, a close second, but man, this really filled the chest. I loved it. This one's great. Still really enjoy it. Like a blackberry, baking spice, cinnamon. That walnut does kind of continue. Kind of crushed that nut, so kind of proud of myself. There was a bitterness kind of coming out as it sat on the tongue, and then, but I didn't hate it, and I realized it was coffee. There was like this chocolate, coffee, toasted walnut, brown sugar, and barrel char coming out on this one, where I'm going to revisit A125. This one may have a leg up, and I did really enjoy this C924. A125, it's the smoothest pour up here, and it still has a great mouthfeel to it. It actually makes my mouth water with that red fruit. It goes into much sweeter than what C or the previous A was, with a great hug. This is a buy. I really enjoy it. I thought I really liked that C924. I think this A batch is a step up for me. I think C has a little bit more complexity, but the sweetness, the red fruit, I'm kind of here for tonight. Maybe I got to back it down when I revisit, but as of right now, pretty enjoyable. Now let's get into the senses. We got 2 categories on this YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Senses, what's the experience like? We don't take price into consideration, no age, no nothing. What's the experience? Did we enjoy it? I think this is really good stuff, and I'm going to go 78. I think it's firmly in the good stuff. I can't put it into great. I wish it had a little more body, a little more complexity to it, but I think this is a definite buy, especially at $60, $70. No question. Now, bang for the buck. Did I get my money's worth? Would I pay more than the $70? I would. Not much. I mean, if you told me these went up to 80 with a barrel proof weeded, especially if you're a weeded bourbon fan, you don't have too many options out there. So there's that. But yeah, if you told me this was $80, I'd go up there, I'd stop there. So I got my money's worth. So bang for the buck score, we'll go 73. It punches above the $70 price tag. It sits on shelves, so you don't sit there and have to like call around, camp out, or you're like, hey, do you have this one? Red fruit, ultra sweet, great hug. If that sounds like something in your wheelhouse, A batch is right up your alley. Thanks for tuning into the review. Always appreciate you all in the comments and the liking and definitely the subscribing. This has been a really fun journey. Happy to start another year. Another kicks off a year like one of these Larceny or Elijah Craig barrel proofs. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you again next week.